What's up, everybody? Billy here, also known as Will, I guess. Yeah, sure. Um, Today, I would like to discuss the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. Now, there's tons of ones going through and reading the whole thing, and then and not doing much, like really discussing it because there aren't a lot of people there discussing it. There you can find a few videos. Like I saw one guy had like 500 views on his pretty legitimate video on how to. He was talking. I think I'm not sure whether it was between the 13th and 15th tablet, but talking about how to get rid of energy, how to basically meditate to get rid of negative energy. Um, Now the thing is on this, from the research I've done, it was Doctor. Oh man, I can't remember his name. Doctor something. It starts with an M, I think. Morgan or I don't know. That was the guy I think that translated him or discovered him. Anyway, originally it was 10 tablets, I guess, an actual 10 tablets. It was put into the 15 by this guy for some reason, for some way. I don't know why. Who cares? That doesn't matter as much. Probably better for organization. And yeah, he apparently wasn't allowed to. He discovered it in 1925, and I guess he wasn't allowed to put out the last two tablets, 13, 14, and 15th, until like 1930, from the information I've gathered. But yeah. Basically, I want to get into. I'm gonna like read. Now, a lot of people can just, if they already know the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, then you can skip it until like after say Tablet One, or like in the middle of the video to try to figure out, I guess, where if you've already heard the first Emerald Tablet, you don't really aren't not going to care about hearing it again necessarily, especially if you're just delving into this and you're not truly a believer in all this craziness. And yeah, I basically, before we get into it, I totally believe that there's something to this, and it's supposed to be the vibrations of just speaking it, and is supposed to affect you, and there's supposed to be like 1,000. Like read it 100 different times, 100 different ways, or 100 different languages. I don't know. You'll get something out of it every time. Something I don't see on YouTube yet is the original translation of how it actually sounded from the native tongue. That was, man, I should have got more information on this. But essentially, yeah, Thoth was an Atlantean. Who supposedly, apparently, built the pyramids, and talking about the halls of Almonte, which, from other people's and probably my interpretation as well, and I think he pretty much goes in quite detail about going underneath the pyramids, and so there might be a whole different city underneath the pyramids. Of course, they're keeping it secret or keeping it quiet, or just, I don't know what they're doing, but regardless, yeah, there's not as much access to it now as there used to be, obviously, with the pyramids and all that crap from what I've heard. So, yeah. I should actually just do it as a preface, and then I'll switch the, I'll go to the next video maybe, and for the people that, yeah, something like that. Okay, so, history of Thoth. Passing the halls of Monte, blah, 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 100 times 10 have I descended. Okay, wait. Okay. I'll start from the beginning. Okay, this is known as the history of Thoth, the Atlantean. I, Thoth, the Atlantean, master of mysteries, keeper of records, mighty king, magician, living from generation to generation, being about to pass into the halls of Almonte. Almonte. I call him Thoth. Some people call him Thoth. I don't know. I think, no offense, Thoth, but I think it kind of sounds retarded saying it like Thoth. I'm Thoth. Like Thoth. Come on, that's a little better. Choth? No, it doesn't make sense. Okay, Thoth it is. Where are we at? I pass into the halls of Almonte, set down for guidance of those that are to come after these records of the mighty wisdom of great Atlantis. So, talking about Atlantis. Um, yeah, we all know the story, so I'll go with it. In the greater city of Keor, Keor, on the island of Undal, in a time far past. Great city of Ker. I began this incarnation. Not as the little men of the present age did the mighty ones of Atlantis live and die, but rather from aeon to aeon did they renew their life in the halls of Almonte, where the river of life flows eternally onward. Okay, so we began that. So let's review this a little bit. He began in our incarnation, not incarceration. That's key. Not as the little men of the so he's kind of explaining that in the past men were a lot farther along, like in consciousness is kind of my there's more to it. They'll probably kind of explain it, but because I began this incarnation not as little men of the present age, for example, now did the mighty ones of Atlantis live and die, but rather from aeon to aeon did they renew their life, and where the rivers flowed eternally onward. Okay, I guess there's not really that interpretation quite yet, but it gets into that. So man, that's a little biased, isn't it? Just going, yeah. Okay. Anyway, 100 times 10 have I descended the dark way that led into light, and as many times have I ascended from darkness into the light, my strength and power renewed. Yeah, definitely talking about reincarnation. That's an obvious. Have I descended the dark way that led into light? Talking about basically every time he says dark and light, I think of dark as lies and light as the truth. That's my interpretation, and as you'll see, the more you read it, the more different things you'll get from it. So that might just be one way of looking at it. For 100 times 10 have I descended the dark way that led into the light, and as many times have I descended from darkness into the light. My strength and power renewed. Basically, I have ascended from the lies into the truth. I descended the lie or negative way that led into the positive or the truth. And as many times have I ascended from the lies into the truth. Well, my strength and power renewed. Well, okay, that doesn't make sense either. I don't know. In the future, that's how I kind of take it when he talks about different things. But man, I'm getting ahead of myself. That's what I do. Now for a time I descend, and the men of Chem shall know me no more. But in a time yet unborn will I rise again, mighty and potent, requiring an account of those left behind me. So he'd see the progress. Then beware, O men of Chem, if ye have falsely betrayed my teaching, for I shall cast ye down from your highest estate into the darkness of the caves from whence ye came. Betray not my secrets to the men of the north or the men of the south, lest my curse fall upon ye. Remember and heed my words, for surely will I return again and require surely will I return again and require of thee that which ye regard. Yeah, just okay. A even from A-Y-E, I don't know. A even from beyond time and from beyond death will I return, rewarding or punishing as ye have requited your trust. Great were my people in the ancient days, great beyond the conception of the little people now around me, knowing the wisdom of old, seeking far within the heart of infinity knowledge that belonged to earth's youth. Yeah, so they were much more wise back in the day, apparently. Wise were we with the wisdom of the children of light, or truth, who dwelt among us. Strong were we with the power drawn from the eternal fire. The sun, I would think. Um, maybe not. Maybe not. All this, when I say, I'm not saying like it is for sure the actual interpretation of it. That's just how I take it, and like he says, I don't want to say the wrong teachings, otherwise he'll cast me down. But however, basically, my interpretation of that, for example, would be that he's not saying like all these other religions, like you better do this, or you're gonna feel my wrath. Is just whatever he's putting here, which, if assuming it is the truth, and I mean, when you study this, you'll see that there are a lot of great, amazing things. So with that, he's just saying, if you try to take advantage of this and try to manipulate it or change, change it's kind of a thing too with the Christian religion, but just try to do it for your own personal gain, or try to mislead people so that they'll, I don't know, do something, then yeah, that's like not right in the first place. If everything in this, like, basically for me is nothing but love and talking about truth and truth and truth and talking about how we have lived in lies and all that stuff. But but yeah, they apparently used to be able to. They were in a higher consciousness, and great were my people in the ancient days, great beyond the conception of the little people now around me. So we obviously fell overall, or maybe there was a catastrophe. Knowing the wisdom of old, seeking far within the heart of knowing the wisdom of old, seeking far within the heart of infinity knowledge that belonged to earth's youth. Wise were we with the wisdom of the children of light who dwelt among us. Strong were we with the power drawn from the eternal fire. In all of these, greatest among children of men was my father, Thoth, keeper of the great temple, link between the children of light who dwelt within the temple and the races of men who inhabited the 10 islands. Mouthpiece after the three of the dweller of Unal, speaking to the kings with the voice that must be obeyed. Basically, Unal is Thoth the dweller of Unal, speaking to the kings with a voice that must be obeyed. So yeah, Unal is the voice for the kings, and which is kind of interesting. Very interesting. Grew I there from a child into manhood, being taught by my father the elder mysteries, until in time there grew within the fire of wisdom, until it burst into a consuming flame. Not desired I, but the attainment of wisdom. That's all he wanted. He wanted more wisdom, more truth, more. And yeah, guess what? If you're a really wise person, um, you're not getting lied to. You know what's the truth. Speaking to the kings with a voice that must be obeyed. Grew I there from a child into manhood, being taught by my father by the eldest mysteries, until in time there grew within the fire wisdom, until it burst into a consuming flame, not being taught by my father the elder mysteries, until in time there grew. So he was taught by his father, and the elder mysteries, until in time there grew within the fire of wisdom. He got so deep into it until it burst into a consuming flame. Like, that's all he thought about. That's all he seeked. Not desired but the attainment of wisdom. Until on a great day, the command came from the dweller of the temple, which would be Unal, right? Or no, it'd be Thoth is the keeper of the great temple, who dwelt among the temple and the races of men. Mouthpiece after the three of the dweller of Unal. Dweller of the temple might be Unal. I don't know. That I brought before him. Okay. Until on a great day the command came from the dweller of the temple that I be brought before him. Few there were among children of men who looked upon that mighty face and lived. The command came from the dweller of the temple that I be brought before him. Few there would normally live. For not as the sons of men are the children of light when they are not incarnate in a physical body. What? Interesting. Okay. I think it's almost all interesting, and if this is supposed to have certain vibrations, just speaking it, even though I don't read it consistently through, like that, but it shouldn't matter because we're analyzing this. We're trying to get a deeper understanding, and without analyzing it, I mean, maybe it'll naturally come, and I do believe just from listening to it there will be things, and there are things every time I'm listening to it, on one of the YouTube deals, and I have to rewind it and say, wait a minute, did he just say something amazing? Like, and I'll continue. I'm not even through freaking the first page. So, but okay. So not many people looked at the dweller of the temple and lived. Oh, well, you don't dare look up at his face, because there could be something extremely, if you know the dweller of the temple's coming, don't try to look up, because you will probably die. So, yeah, I'm going to go with that. That's a good explanation of it, I think. So it looked upon that mighty face and lived. So it doesn't mean that you're going to die just being around him. I kind of took it like that, the first thing. But if you think about it, so just trying to eliminate different, things, because there are not many people that are talking about this, and I don't understand why. Okay, so, all right. Whew. Okay. Chosen was I from the sons of men, taught by the dweller. Wow, he was taught. So Thoth apparently was taught by this guy that you can't even look up at his face and barely survive. Now that's one interpretation. Obviously you could, maybe it's not a literal thing if you look up, but sons of men are children of light. The sons of men are the children of light. For not as the sons of men The sons of men are the children of truth when they are not incarnate in a physical body. When they're not incarnate, they are not sons of men. Man, I don't know on that. For not as the sons of men are the children of light. The children of light are not the sons of men. Yeah, you may have to fast forward this sometimes because I can't. I get caught up on things, but it's important that I try to analyze everything that myself, just to see if there's anything else there. There's tons of apparent different messages and things you can interpret and get off it. So, and I don't know that this emerald tablet is really that important for to get the most benefits, or I don't know, vibrational benefits, healing and everything like that. But okay, what can we do today? I gotta figure out this. I can always go back to it, but if it consumes me too much. But why am I stopping? There's a reason. Few were there among the who looked upon the mighty face and lived. I got that part. For not as the sons of men, the children of light are not the sons of men. For not as the sons of men are the children. Children of light are the sons of men. Are the children of light the sons of men? The children of light are not the sons of men when they are not in a physical body. They're not in a physical body. They're not as the sons of men. Oh man, where am I going with this? For not as the sons of men. There's a blockage here. I have a block. Okay. For not as the sons of men are the children of light when they are not incarnate in a physical body. Does it matter? Do I need to understand exactly? I think it does. If you're going to go hardcore into this, we must think about this. What does it mean? And you're probably yelling at the freaking screen saying, this is what it means, motherfucker. Okay. I try to censor myself, especially during the emerald tablets. If this is really happening, I do not want to taint it by just saying a bunch of swear words. Okay. It's something having to do with you can only look at his face if he's a children of light, basically. You can look at his face if you were in a physical body. I think that's how it is. So we're going to move on. Grew I there from a child into manhood, being taught by my father the eldest mysteries, until in time there grew within the fire of wisdom, until it burst consuming flame. Not desired I, but the attainment of wisdom, until on a great day the command came from the dweller of the temple that I be brought before him. If you were there, oh crap, I just repeated it. Okay, might as well keep on going. Dweller of the temple that I be brought before him. Few there were among the children of men who looked upon that mighty face and lived, for not as the sons of men are the children of light when they are not incarnate in a physical body. Chosen was I from the sons of men, taught by the dweller. So he was taught by the dweller, so that his purposes might be fulfilled, purposes yet unborn in the womb of time. So he's basically wanting to strategize for the future. Long ages I dwelt in the temple, learning ever and yet ever more wisdom, until I too approached the light emitted from the great fire. Taught me he the path to Amate, the underworld where the great king sits upon his throne of might. Deep I bowed in homage before the lords of life and the lords of death. Homage. Bows to both of them, lords of death and lords of life, receiving as my gift the key of life. So there is things to bow to other things. You might receive knowledge. Free was I of the halls of Amate, bound not by death to the circle of life. Far to the stars I journeyed unto space and time, became as naught. Until space and time became as naught. Space and time became as naught. He traveled a long frickin' ways, I tell you that. So, I lost my spot. Taught me he the path to Amate, the underworld where deep I bowed in homage. Free was I in the halls of Amate, bound not by death to the circle of life. Oh, so he got out of his reincarnation states. Okay? So bound not by death to the circle of life, well, then you go to the next life. Well, he found a way when he died, maybe, or when he was still alive, I'm not really sure, to avoid that circle of life. Far to the stars I journeyed until space and time become as naught. So space and time were basically didn't matter. So therefore you could hang out there as long as possible, and gain, like wisdom in a split second in theory. If you could stop time, Yeah, that's the thing. If you had a time stopper and then you read up on something and all of a sudden you're an expert and like you just got all that knowledge in 1 second. But yeah, so and I lose my spot. I should really mark it down, but for the stars of journey unto the space and time became as naught. Then having drunk deep of the cup of wisdom, I looked into the hearts of men, and there found I greater mysteries, and was glad. Far only in the search for truth could my soul be stilled, and the flame within be quenched. So he got way into it, and he discovered more and more, and he looked into the hearts of men, and there I found greater mysteries, and was glad. Well, yeah, it would be very bad if you know everything. And the thing is, if you know, like, as much as you can about something, you can, move on. You've conquered it. There's nothing more you need to do unless, you can move on. Yeah, so what I'm finding with meditation and everything, too, is there's always something more to learn. There's always there's still things that I think have all been thought of, but maybe not for a long time, or the people are not writing this craziness down. So, okay, let's see. So I'm going to stop there for now. My next video will have to do with the others. It's just crazy, this whole thing. I could talk more, but it's 30 minutes, and yeah. And I'll definitely do more, because why not? Seeing around my taste a couple. There's so many more interesting things I could say, and I'm sure I'll get to them in other videos. Like and subscribe if you want, because more videos to come, and I'll eventually get through all this. I'll probably have others, like this other girl that just, I don't know, she might have stuff to say. She doesn't know much about this. A lot of people don't know much about this, but the good news is, this is my doggy, and cubbies, what's up? Yeah, I'm just kind of chilling. This is my place, so yeah. I don't see a lot of people talking about this. That's why I'll continue doing this and craziness. And I'm a little weird. I am gonna put my input in it. That's just kind of the fun. You can a way to watch this. You could actually debate with the screen yourself. Like, you know, if you disagree with me, call me an idiot or something like that. Oh, but I'm not an idiot because I'm trying this. I'm just putting it out there, guys. I'm doing it. Not a lot of other people are, and people need to do it. We need to be talking about the Emerald Tablets of Thoth more, because there's so much information, and I don't even know. I'm not an expert on this. I'm just getting into this, but I know the stuff, how the meditation stuff, and the different things that he says to do, that you can just test out yourself and use your own intuition to figure out which thing kind of connects with you in meditation in the first place, and then we could all have a happier life. So, yeah, happier. Smiling more. Oh man. Okay, have a great day.